David. Doesn't he speak well? That's the first time I've heard you speak, David. You're doing everything you're telling everyone to do, which is lovely. Modulations and pausing, it's terrific. And I do feel for the table topics people, because you've got 2 seconds to think about something and then someone's going to evaluate what you're speaking about. So I really do feel for those 4 people. Now we've got Simon, who is, it looks like an award presentation about the Youth Leadership Program. He's going to speak for between 3 to 4 minutes. Welcome, Simon.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. As Toastmasters, we have many opportunities to speak and develop our leadership skills. We conduct Toastmasters meetings around the world, and we are welcome to clubs everywhere we go. As we develop our skills as Toastmasters, we have the ability to then share what we have learned. There are many outside things to do, not just Toastmasters internally in clubs. We are able to teach. We are able to conduct programs like Speechcraft. We are able to train other Toastmasters, experienced Toastmasters, bring and empower new Toastmasters up in their Toastmasters journeys. And we also have the ability to train the youth, in particular the teenagers, the ones in year 10s and 11s, the youth leadership of their school. The Youth Leadership Program is conducted within a school environment. Students in Year 10 and Year 11 here at the Coolum State High School have been identified who show leadership potential. The school has asked us for many years to come and conduct their Youth Leadership Program for them, to help these students to foster and develop their public speaking and their leadership skills. And we are very lucky here in our club to have a member who is a high school teacher of her own and a former principal. Glyni Cumming has over 30 years experience teaching and moulding students. And we are very grateful to have Glyni here in our club, and she agreed to head up the coordination of the most recent Youth Leadership Program. The course ran for 7 weeks, just like a Speechcraft course. And through her wonderful guidance, these students were also able to deliver speeches, the icebreaker, and not get to the point, the other one. What was that? Organise a speech. Number 2. They also had impromptu speaking opportunities through table topics. And as the course went along, just like here in Speechcraft, the kids or the youth, the students were able to conduct and lead the meetings themselves. And I was able to attend the majority of the meetings, and Marilyn came along and Melinda came along, and it was a wonderful environment, and the kids were fantastic. Out of these students, there will be Year 12 captains, and there will be leaders in the community of Cornwill into the future. Glyni, it is my pleasure to award you with the Coordinator Certificate and publicly recognise you here in our club for all the wonderful effort that you have put in with the students behind the scenes and organising our youth leadership. Congratulations. Okay, so just bear with us for a second. Glyni's just... Now, can you tell me which PowerPoint presentation it is, Glyni? Beautiful. So what I'll do is I'll actually copy that onto the hard drive, and then I'll reject that. Yeah, I'll copy that. Copy that. Minimize that. Paste that there. Okay. Sure. Alrighty. Are we ready?
I am.
Good. We're off. Glyni Cumming. What makes you a leader?
Lao Tzu, Chinese philosopher and founder of Taoism in the 6th century BC, said, "A leader is best when people barely know that he exists. The next best when people honour and praise him. Worst when they fear and then hate him." He continues, "If you fail to honour people, they will fail to honour you. But if a good leader who talks little, when his work is done, his aim fulfilled, they will all say, 'We did this all ourselves.'" Mr. Chairman, what makes a good leader is the first topic I discussed with the Year 10 Youth Leadership students at Cumming State High School. Why? These teenagers who volunteer to do this course are potentially their future school leaders. Now is the best time for them to consider how they will lead their school community. Term 3 was the Year 10 students' turn to take advantage of Cumming Communicators Community Service, offering the Toastmasters Youth Leadership Program to the local high school. 10 students nominated to do the course, and 10 students completed the course and received their certificates at a graduation luncheon. What a group of students this was. Warm-up topics and table topics were some of the most startling I've ever heard. Now, we know that in Toastmasters, we should never discuss sex, drugs and rock and roll. That's sex, religion and politics. But these students had no such inhibitions, and I was not about to stop them. What do you feel about abortion? What do you think of gender stereotyping and transgender operations? Would you prefer to die in World War III or in a zombie apocalypse? I revolted. I'd prefer not to die at all, thank you. Instead, I'd work towards world peace. However, that warm-up did shift my attitudes enough to allow me to view the hilariously awful World War Z starring Brad Pitt. Now, there's one important piece of advice that I have for anyone proposing to run a youth leadership program at a local high school. Suspend all idea that it will run smoothly. No, instead, expect chaos. Schools, like hypotheses, are evolutionary beasts. Timetables change. Students have deadlines, and exams demand precedence. And yet another wild card. At Cumming, the school finishes early on Thursday afternoon, so senior students with part-time late-night shopping jobs can go and get ready for work. The task of running the Year 10 course this year was made much easier by Cumming Communicators President Simon Cornwill's careful preparation, as he had drafted the work to be covered in the truncated 7, not 8-week course. And as a new VP, I enjoyed the opportunity to practice setting out and planning the weekly agenda. Simon was also my assistant. As a young father himself, he's very comfortable relating to the students. I particularly appreciated how his good questioning enabled one reluctant speaker to understand how she could have added greater length to her speech. Youth leadership does require and need 2 adult Toastmasters to run effectively. Yes, there's a teacher present, but her role is often simply a silent support, not participatory. So I really appreciated the support also of Mindy Nation, Fairleigh McElraith and Marilyn Freeman, who also came in when they could. And in youth leadership, I downplay my usual dominant teacher's role to simply sit alongside the nominated chairperson and assist them to run the meeting in the least obtrusive way. I choose to let students make errors in preference to a lengthy role preparation. This way they can realise their own strengths, but they can pause at any time to ask me for advice or assistance. This time I also initiated group evaluations after the speeches, and I found that the students' comments on their peers' delivery was really accurate, not only complimentary, but also giving points for improvement. I was then able to add their points to my own notes for inclusion in their later written evaluations. This time the group also had the benefit of using the Toastmasters International Youth Leadership workbooks, which had been bought by Cumming Club. These contain carefully detailed and lengthy support notes. However, students under the pressure of schoolwork do not necessarily have the time to read such detail. But in future, those workbooks will be an excellent resource when they do have to present formal speeches for subject assessment. I still made use of Cumming Club's own youth leadership booklets, which are perfectly valid and user-friendly, especially in their directions for the two set speeches, the first two in the communicator manual. So what are the benefits to the club of running such a course? Well, I think it's what validates this organisation. Toastmasters could be seen as a pretty self-centred group. We're here to improve ourselves in our confidence and our public speaking, unlike a community service club like Rotary or Lions. So running a youth leadership program gives something tangible back to the community. And in a news story that Marilyn showed to the students, those students who complete the course do go on to do well in other areas of public speaking. And as school leaders, ones who are neither feared nor hated, but instead honoured and praised. And hopefully the photos taken at the graduation did find their way into the newspaper so that Cullum Communicators Club gets its well-deserved public recognition. I'll show the last one.
Oh, great kids, those.